Consider this, you're shopping for a new phone. Phones these days averagely cost $600+. You scour the internet for the best deal. Which phone has the most storage? The best resolution? Basically, you're comparing all the factors to narrow down the best option. ANOVA testing is just like that. We're comparing similar factors to see how they impact a dependent variable. So let's break this up further before we talk about the parameters necessary to work with three-factor ANOVA. What is the dependent variable? Well, we can think of this as a question we want to answer that can be affected by three different factors. It's important to note that these factors need to be broken down into two or more subsets that can be used to measure what we call the dependent variables. Since this is in fact a class for engineers, let's talk about an engineering-specific example that shows the wide reach of statistics and the ANOVA test. A group of computer engineers would like to design a new processor, but first they determined that they would like to see how existing processors are affected by their overall usage, RAM, and the system they run on, whether that be Windows 9, 8, or 10. The dependent variable is the processor, and the independent variables are the RAM, usage, and the system that they run. Here's a data set that was generated to correlate with the groups. We can see that subcategories are measured in high and low. These are qualitative measurements. We must convert them to quantitative values. In this specific case, I converted 2 to equal high usage and 1 to equal low usage. To take into account the following after collecting our data for our ANOVA tests. There must not be any extreme high or low outliers from the group. Each data set must have a normal distribution. The variance in each group must also be the same. It's important to know our dependent variable must be continuous. So how do we calculate three-factor ANOVA? There is a more complex mathematical way to do it, but today I'll only be focusing on using the Excel method. There is no specific test called three-factor ANOVA in the data analysis toolbox. So first step is we go to the data analysis toolbar and we ensure that we select ANOVA with more than 2 factors with regression. This will give us something similar to what has been outputting on my Excel sheet. What does this mean? The purpose of this test is to see if there's any specific correlation and why things vary. Here we can look at the significance level to assume if there is correlation. We can also look at our F value, and the closer it is to 1, then the more likely we are to have a null hypothesis that is true.